The shaping of my cultural identity. Once upon a time, a greatly influential man said, "A nation's culture resides in the hearts and in the soul of its people." This man was none other than Mahatma Gandhi. I am a 15-year-old boy who was born in Oakland, California, raised in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and currently resides in Doha, Qatar. Both my parents are pure Ethiopians. However, just because I was born in the United States of America, I am considered an American by nationality. Both my parents, as well as my older brother and I, are Christian. On many different occasions in my life, my parents have told me about what a beautiful and powerful culture we as Ethiopians have. However, I have discovered that being a part of different communities has altered my cultural identity. In January 1997, 2 months after I was born, I moved to go live in Ethiopia. This is the first community or culture that I became a part of. For the first 2 years of my life, I mostly stayed home and learned the language and some things about the religion from my parents and from my grandparents. I spent the next 6 years learning and exploring this complicated culture of being an Ethiopian. The Ethiopian culture revolves strongly around Christianity and has many different celebrations, fasts, holidays, etc. Growing up, I never really noticed the cultural significance of the clothes I was wearing, the language I was speaking, the music I was listening to, and even the holidays that I celebrated. At this point, my cultural identity was purely and solely Ethiopian. However, in 2005, everything changed when my parents told me we were moving to Qatar. When my parents first told me that we were leaving Ethiopia to live somewhere other than America, let alone that it was in the Middle East, I was beyond angry and scared to leave my home. However, when I came here, I was extremely surprised to know how influenced the country was by Western society. There was a Cartoon Network on the TV, there was McDonald's and Burger King in the malls, and almost everyone spoke English. The first school I joined was Cambridge School Doha. This is where I was first formally introduced to the Qatari culture. And I experienced major culture shock that year, not because of how the people dressed or what music they listened to, but mainly because of money. Seeing the way people in my school treat money was shocking to say the least. I remember one time my mother confiscated a 1 real pack of gum from me. I remember I cried like a baby that day. Meanwhile, there was people in my school throwing away food worth 10 reals, 20 reals like it was nothing, living carefree life. The next year, I moved to Qatar Academy. And within my first week here, if I didn't learn anything else, I learned that most people here, money was a joke. Understanding that what most students spend on lunch every day in Qatar Academy, and at this point this included myself, was more than what some people in Ethiopia would make per day. And understanding this became a big aspect in shaping my cultural identity. A vast majority of my friends in Qatar Academy are of Arab descent, and almost all of them are Muslims by faith. Hanging out with them completely changed the misconceptions that I had known about Arab before coming to Qatar. As time went on, I learned the language and I started making more and more Arab friends. The more Arab friends that I made, the more I started learning about the culture. For example, in 7th grade I was invited to my friend's mentos. This was a very cultural form of social gatherings in the Arab world. Also, I came to realize that whenever I hung out with my friends, I even started talking with an Arabic accent, and I became more and more accustomed to the Arabic culture. This in turn meant that my cultural identity had been impacted once more. I'm not going to say that I'm a part of the American community as strongly as I am a part of the Qatari or the Ethiopian one, but it has impacted my cultural identity. Ever since I was 2 years old, I have almost annually visited America for summer vacation, usually to visit my grandparents and my family. Hanging out with my cousins, I discovered a few things about American culture, such as the food, the clothing, the music, etc. And although it hasn't had a very deep impact on my life, it has helped shape my cultural identity. So basically what I'm trying to say is that these three countries are the ones with the most influence in my life. So if I have to describe my cultural identity in the simplest form, I will have to say that I have a multicultural identity considering that I'm a part of three different cultural communities. Just as Gandhi once said, if a nation's culture resides in both the heart and soul of its people, then I carry the culture of Ethiopia, Qatar, and the United States of America in both my heart and soul.